to another edition of the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show, sponsored all season long by Wholesale Supply Group. I'm Andy Morris, joined with Jacob Mason, and of course, Walker Valley head football coach Drew Akins. And once again, this is Bradley Week, but before we dive into anything Bradley related, we're going to recap the 29-15 win over Notre Dame at Chattanooga. Coach Akins, first of all, glad to have you with us.
Yeah, guys, thank you. Again, it's nice to start another year of the Coaches Show. I've got a little voice cracking today, man. My voice is not quite ready for a Friday night. We didn't prep Friday night yelling like we did the other night, but what a great start to our season, you know, and celebrating a win and over what I thought was one of the most improved teams from year one to year two that I've ever seen. Coach Fant's doing an unbelievable job with Notre Dame's football team. And their improvement was unbelievable. And it was nice to go out there and play against a really good team game one and still get a win at the end.
For sure, Coach. You got some film to share with us, so let's just dive right in and get into some game film from last Friday.
Let's dive right into the game film. So, cool start to the game. You know, we started out on defense. We were able to dive straight in defensively. And we got a great kickoff by Eli. We went down and covered it. I think we tackled it inside the 20. I think it was like the 18. And then play three, we've been working on this coverage all week. We kind of knew they're going to do this motion where they're going to bump back, and then they bump back into trips. I think they're just trying to get you to change their alignment. And when we did that, we were able to jump that. And you see Chipper underneath the route, and then Braxton's able to get over top of it. Play 4 of the year. We get an interception. So that's a cool moment for Braxton, starting out the year, being one of our returning starters, jumping out on the field and making a play game one. This is a cool view of it, too. These drone shots is something new we're doing where we're able to film with the drone. So it gives you a great look from this angle. And, again, you'll see the return motion. The quarterback just sails it a little bit, and Braxton's able to go make a play on it and get a little bit of return and set us up inside, our own 30 to start the game. And then we drive down, get inside the red zone. And red zone's something that we're going to have a conversation on, I think, throughout this talk, but we get inside the red zone. Eli, we talked about early. I think we've talked about it on the radio. We've talked about it with several reporters that Eli's going to have to run some offense for us. And for him to be able to get at running back and play early and be able to make this cut, you can see why he's playing running back for us. He's just a physical runner.
And, of course, when he talks about Eli, he's talking about number 42, Eli Denton.
Yeah, Eli is a great football player, man, and for him to be able to make that run, open the season again, the drone shot just gives you a great view of the blocking in it, and then Eli being physical at the run. So great start to the season, getting an interception to start the year, and then coming back and getting a score right off the bat. The second drive, we got a 3 and out. We come back, and this is our new, load set. We've ran load for a couple of years now. Y'all have seen load with Griffin Broom. You've seen load with Tucker Pope. You saw load with Ryan Lay last year. And now you get the Tucker Owenby version of load. So Tucker Owenby, number 2, is our load quarterback right now. We get this set up, and we're just going to run a little power over to the left side. We get a good down blocks, and B's able to get it in the end zone. Again, great view here from the drone shot. It's just a little different. It's a little different from the drone shot, but you see a great down block. Jackson Gibson really crushing that edge, and B finding some space there. So great start to the season. We're up 14-0 pretty quickly after an interception, and then a 3 and out. Eli and Tucker starting our year out. We knew those 2 dudes were going to be 2 dudes that we count on, that we were expecting to make plays, and they both went and did it early on, so that's exciting.
For those of you that are listening on the radio, we do encourage you, if you get a chance, check out the Mix 104.1 video footage of this interview. Also, Walker Valley Football will have that on their social media pages as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the third drive, Brady Montgomery undercuts a vertical, and honestly, guys, I thought he was gone. But great play right here by Brody. Again, a play that we worked throughout the week. If you look at it, they're trying to pull you wide with this bubble. So number 3 is going to run a bubble. Number 2 and number 1, the receivers, so Number 3 is the most inside guy. Number 2 is the middle guy. Number 1 is the far outside guy. So 2 and 1 are going to run verticals. 3 is going to run a bubble. They're trying to pull you out to the bubble. Brady has great discipline here, being able to see the verticals, don't chase the bubble, and undercuts number 1. And I thought he was going to make a house call there, but that guy barely got him right there by the heel. So still a great play by Brady. Again, from the drone shot, you see a great view of him being able to undercut that. Just the timing. Watch the timing that he undercuts this. You know, you see one go in, and just him baiting that a little bit, undercutting it, and going and making a play. So.
I'm going to let Jacob go ahead and call me out for my call on that play.
Yeah. We also thought that Brady was going to take it to the house. Coach Andy more than anybody.
That's right.
There was a shoestring tackle, but that's probably one of my favorite plays of the night for sure because he really does do that bait and switch.
Yeah.
You know, waits for the quarterback and breaks right at the right time. So that's great footage from the drone as well.
He's very intellectual, man, and he understands what teams are trying to do, and it's fun watching him progress and grow and the leader and the player that he's become for us. I just put this on there because Eli, obviously, I don't love kicking field goals in the red zone, but Eli, when we do kick them, it's very important that we make them. And Eli was 3 for 3 the other night inside the red zone on field goals, which gave us, 100% inside the red zone at scoring. Now we want to see our touchdown percentage get up. So we got to do a better job of that. But I wanted to praise Eli. His job is to go out there and make kicks. So him going out there and making 3 field goals from, inside the 20 is a big deal. That gives us a great amount of confidence in him.
Jacob brought up during the broadcast of the game how valuable that is to get him those reps, especially when you go back to last year and we saw, I believe it was the Smith County game, how much we relied on him to get us through that in overtime. And what a great way to get him some early reps here in the first game of the season.
Yeah, I was excited for him, man. Just excited. He works really hard. He's been at kicking camps. He went to Cole's kicking camp. He's been at kicking camp we hosted here on campus. I got to commend Coach Taylor. Our men's soccer coach has also been helping us on the sideline with Eli. And, man, he's made a huge difference with Eli. And you can see it. I mean, it showed up on Friday night. And I think it'll continue to show up throughout the year. And our confidence in him is really high right now.
Yeah, I also thought his distance on kickoffs had improved from last year as well. He kind of gave you guys a consistent down to the 5 or inside the 5 around in there. So I thought that was really important as well because that helped with, the
starting field position for sure.
For the rest of the game.
He did. You're right. The reason Eli didn't win the special teams player of the game is because his direction was a little off. His distance was much better. His leg strength has gotten so much better. We just got to make sure we're putting the ball where our coverage is going. And he made that mistake a few times. But he worked, and we went out there today, and he was putting them right where they were supposed to be. So, again, Coach Taylor's doing a great job with him. And then the play right before halftime is the one that kind of everybody should go back and make sure if you haven't seen it, man, you got to go see this. Eli, well, first of all, Jackson Gibson makes a play in the backfield. Great rush by Jackson Gibson on the edge, makes a move, tips the ball. I'm sorry, I'm a play ahead. This is the deep ball where Tucker Owenby again. You talk about guys that have made plays for us for a long time. Tucker Owenby's at safety, drops back and makes the interception and really has a great return. You talk about guys I thought were going to go. I thought he had a chance there for a second if he cuts back across the field. But their receivers are super fast and they caught him from behind. But great play by Tucker there, being on top of the verticals. We talked about that all week, making sure we stay on top, don't give up the big play. And Tucker did a great job there.
Well, you were talking about the defensive lineman. I see in that play right there, you only send 3, and you're getting great pressure on the quarterback.
And I'll tell you what, Jackson Gibson's a different kid this year. Connor Phillips is a dog. I'll tell you that. You watch Connor Phillips this year because that kid's going to make a lot of plays for us. He's a different kind of kid, man. He's got a little dog to him, and because of that, man, he was in the backfield. He wreaked havoc all night long.
One thing that stood out to me about Connor Phillips was during the Farragut scrimmage, he came opposite side of the play and tracked down a ball carrier from behind. And I said, you know what, this will be fun to watch Connor and what he does this year.
Connor made a great play here too, a great effort play later on in the game where, he chased a screen down that would have been a huge play. And instead he got it down in about 10 yards. So great effort play by him. And then here's the last one I was talking about. Watch Jackson Gibson here on the left edge. Jackson's going to rush the quarterback. He's able to get some pressure on the quarterback here. And because of that, he gets a tip ball, and then it goes straight to Eli, and Eli's able to make a couple guys miss. We got guys in front. Watch the white shirts getting in front, man, going and making a play, and giving Eli a chance to get in the end zone. And you just see the excitement around our defense. And I know we get on the show and we praise our defense a lot. We don't have the drone shot here. We were down, unfortunately. But you can see here just Jackson be able to make a move here on this tackle. He goes inside, then back out, gets the tip ball straight to Eli, and Eli takes it from there. So, but you see the excitement with our white shirts, and I always like to take a minute to praise our defensive staff, because that excitement right there that you see is what we have every single day, and it's something that we preach and that our kids believe in, and because of that, we're having a lot of success. So that's the end of the half, and that's the end of the plays that we did. But, great first half for us. I think we went in 23-0, and that's, you can't ask for much more out of the start of that. So there was definitely some positives throughout. There's definitely some negatives throughout, and we've got to make sure that we take those negatives and improve on them.
For sure. Positives, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like we tackled pretty well, wrapped up pretty well. Obviously, the secondary was great. And then, to me, this didn't stick out game time, but watching those plays right there, anytime you can get a pass rush with three guys and disturb the quarterback, that's huge, because that's dropping, especially with an explosive team such as Notre Dame, you're able to drop back, cover more ground, and still get hands in the face. So, if anything, that's something that I didn't take away during the game, but watching film, you see Jackson Gibson and Connor, and who's the nose guard this year?
Van Wyck was playing nose there. Cam Norwood played a lot of nose for us. I think Jack Shantz, a sophomore, played a lot of 5. Troy Duskevich played a lot at 5 technique as well. We got a lot of guys rotating. When we looked at our quarters played, we had, I think, probably 18 to 20 guys play on defense. That's a big deal. So having that kind of depth, especially on the D-line, is very important.
For sure. So we talked about the good. What are some things that we can improve on, especially for a big week like next week?
Yeah, I think defensively, we've got to make sure that we continue to tackle. We only gave up one explosive play the other night. It felt like it was more because they had the deep ball. They got called back because of hold on Connor. Connor kind of forced a hold, which gave us, that deep ball was brought back to the line of scrimmage. They had the deep ball where they ran out of bounds and came back in. They caught it, but it's a penalty. They had the deep ball on their sideline that they caught, but they called it out of bounds. It was inbounds, by the way.
You could see the footprint they were pointing to.
They missed that one. And listen, it's the first game for the refs too. I thought they really managed the game well, but they didn't. They missed that one, and that's a tough miss for them because the next play was the interception. So it felt like they had some explosive plays. Their little running back was shifty, and it felt like he got some. We call explosive play a run of 12 or a pass of 18. That's explosive play for us. So, to hold a team that's explosive as those guys were and good at tracking the ball and the running back that's as slippery as that kid was.
A lot of athletes on the field.
Yeah, man. So to be able to hold them to one explosive play is a big deal. But it felt funny because they caught several more that just got called back. So we got to make sure that we stay on top of deep balls, that we tackle consistently. That we did miss some tackles on that running back. And if you miss them this week, that's going to be a problem. I think offensively, there were some positives. We ran the ball. Last year we really struggled to run the ball. We relied so much on the pass, and it made it very. Anytime you rely on the pass is giving the run, holes. It makes it really difficult because the pass doesn't travel. The pass sometimes takes a night off. Run games typically don't. So we ran the ball. That was really a positive offensively. The negative that I see, and it's a blinking red light that just keeps you awake at night, is the red zone efficiency. Red zone efficiency, we were 100%. We had 5 trips. We had 5 trips where we scored points. That's 100% efficiency. So getting points is awesome, and I'm so proud of Eli for going and putting 3 field goals through. That's a big deal. But we've got to up our touchdown efficiency. Our red zone touchdown efficiency was 40%, and that's not good enough. Not against big games and big teams and teams that are going to score some points. That you're talking about the difference in, let's say you score 4 out of the 5. Well, now you're talking about 31 points. If you score what we did, 2 out of the 5, and kick field goals the rest. Now you're talking about 23 points. You're talking about a whole another possession that the team has to deal with. So disappointed in that. We've got to fix our red zone efficiency throughout this week. It's going to be a point of emphasis. We've got to make sure that we're doing everything to score points once we get inside. The reason for that, I know I'm giving you a lot of football talk here, but this is why. We had 5 plays that we were second and 7 or more. So you're talking about first down efficiency. Are we being efficient on first down? Are we gaining 4 yards on first down? So we had 5 plays that were not efficient on first down. Of those 5, 4 of those were in the red zone. So when you talk about our first down in the red zone wasn't good, therefore our red zone efficiency wasn't good. So we've got to do better about those things and understanding, okay, why didn't we score? Well, it's because our first downs weren't very good. So we've got to go make a play on first down a little bit better. So, those are things that we talked about over the weekend. We talked about how to do a better job of putting our kids in a position to do better, to have more success inside the red zone. And hopefully we see some of that come to fruition. But we've got to be better when it talks about the red zone, and we've got to continue to not give up explosive plays on defense.
Coach, on the offensive side of the ball, a couple of things I want to talk to you about. First of all, the offensive line. A fairly young offensive line, but one thing that was very apparent Friday night at Notre Dame was the size of your offensive line. That's one thing Jacob and I were very excited about on the radio, and we could tell throughout the game that they started to kind of gel a little bit better together.
Yeah, for sure, man. I was really proud of our line, guys. We had Farley, who started 2 games last year and then got hurt. 3 games. He started the Udonis game as well. So he played about 2.5 games, then got hurt. So you're talking about really a first-year guy. I mean, he got a lot of reps early, but then went 9 weeks without getting any reps.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a young guy with Farley that's played a little. He understands Friday Night Lights and those things. You're talking about Will Turner, who played a lot last year, especially after the Farley injury. Once you get past those 2 guys, every single other guy was a new guy. Riley Myers played against Howard, but that was late in the year, and Howard was really struggling at that point. So Riley played, but that was really the first time Friday night for Riley. Beside him was Gideon Van Dyke. I thought Gideon played really well, and then he had a couple really critical errors. But again, first time he's played. It's first time a Friday Night Lights has hit him. Jeremiah Townsend played a lot, never played on a Friday. Luke Hawkins played a lot, never played on a Friday. Luke was our offensive player of the game. Graded out 70%, had 3 pancakes, had 3 knockdowns.
That's awesome.
I mean, just played really well. But it's his first time on a Friday night. And then Ty Parker, first Friday night, played 15 snaps. First time he ever was able to play on a Friday night. So you're talking about guys that, yes, they're big and they're physical, but they're young and they're inexperienced. So what I hope you see throughout this year is the mistakes that we made go away, and you start seeing physicality, and you start seeing those guys start to move people. And like you said, throughout the game, the first half, we missed assignments pretty bad in places. The second half, we went a 13-play drive, killed the clock in the third quarter almost. They got the ball back with 5 minutes left, and then they went and scored, and then we went on another 10-play drive. And then at the end of the game, we didn't give it back to them. We went on, I think, a 6-play drive to end the game. So being able to line up and run the ball like we did and not have to worry about dropping back and throwing it gives Evan a little time to kind of get his feet underneath him as well. And we don't have to rely on Evan to go make those plays early. I think Evan's going to grow into that. I have full confidence that Evan's going to grow into that, but we don't have to rely on him because of the way we played up front, because Eli and I thought Christian Wilds came on and ran the ball really hard, and I thought Noah, the last couple drives, ran the ball really hard. So you're starting to see some things offensively in our run game that really given me a lot of hope, and I'm excited about.
Coach, you had a really good answer on Friday night on the blitz when you called in and spoke with them when you're talking about first-year quarterback Evan Schwartzel. We felt like, Jacob and I discussed this during the game, that it was a good game for him to kind of get his feet wet. Yeah. Kind of elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, I really do. Aiden, and you look at the stat line, it's not great. It's not good. It's very average stat line. He missed a throw that I thought he should have hit. He scrambled on one, and it was probably a good throwaway. He had 2 throwaways that were pretty good. But what he did was he showed some athleticism. 2 of our explosive plays were runs by him, where he escaped the pocket, made a run. One of our plays was a quarterback draw. It was 3rd and long, but he made a great run and got us into a position where we could dead snap it on 4th down and get 4th and 5, and then we were trying to make a decision to go, and ultimately decided not to, but he gave us that decision because of his legs. So, and then he had a late pull. We ran counter away and pulled it and split the defense, got inside the 10. So he did some really good things with his legs that I was excited to see, and his athleticism. And we're going to try to build off that and really use his legs and his athleticism to make him more comfortable within games. And once he gets comfortable, man, his arm talent is really special. But he's got to grow into understanding the speed of the game and Friday nights, and he will. But his ability to have a run game and have simple throws kind of gives him that ability to slowly get his feet wet and understand, his role within our offense.
And with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Once again, you're watching the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show with head coach Drew Akins. We'll be right back here with the Coaches Show. Welcome back to the Walker Valley Football Coaches Show with head coach Drew Akins. Once again, we're sponsored all season long by Wholesale Supply Group. I'm Andy Morris along with Jacob Mason.
Coach, Bradley week. So we're at Bradley, 7 o'clock, correct?
7 o'clock.
So for the fans that are normally used to a 7:30 game, it is at 7 o'clock at Bradley Central High School. Let's just dive into it. Let's dive right in. Bradley, always a big physical team. They have a really good athlete at the running back position, a couple, great DBs. What are we expecting this week?
Yeah, I think the first thing we got to talk about is just the mentality of it. This is a big game. It's a big game for our kids. It's a big game for our school. It's a big game for our community. It's a big game for this county. And honestly, I've kind of hidden from that for the past 3 years, especially year one. It was like, hey, it's just another game. And part of that's not understanding the county, the understanding the county as a whole and understanding the passion that's in this county. I was new to it year one. Year two, I really felt good about our team. So we kind of talked a little bit more about, changing a program, and I thought we did a great job in that game. I still look back at that game and say, man, I wish we would have found a way and just alternate universe, see what it would look like now. Because I thought year two was the year with that group that we could have went over there and took one. And again, I think we just mentally weren't ready. Year three, we fought them last year, but I told somebody today, we've competed with them 2 years in a row now. We've had them, on the ropes, in one form or another 2 years in a row, but in the end, competing with them is not good enough. It doesn't get you very much. There's no such thing right now between our two schools as a moral victory. So we've talked about that. We talked about, our kids have talked about, this is one of the things that they want to do is find a way to get over this hump. So we've got to fight with that, fight for that. We got to put our kids in great situations to be able to, be in a situation in the fourth quarter to go win it. And we've been in that situation for 2 years in a row, and we just haven't been able to finish a game. And hopefully, we can find a way to finish. It's not going to be easy. You look at the guys that they have and the experience they have. That's the biggest thing. You start looking at guys, like, man, I've seen number 8 before because it was last year and the year before that. I've seen number 3 before because it was last year and the year before that. I've seen number 5 before. I've seen number 7 before. I've seen number 2 and they have all these guys that have a great experience and they're great football players. And when you talk about, the one in the backfield, I think he's the best player in this county. I think he's the best player in this area, honestly. I've coached Chattanooga football, and there's not a whole lot of football players like number 22, Jackson Wilson, coming at you. That kid is a special kid and a special athlete, and it takes more than one guy to tackle him. Eli can't go do that on his own all night. He can't. There's no way that he's going to go tackle Jackson Wilson all night by himself. So we got to understand, we've got to come as a defense to come tackle him. Everyone's got to go tackle him. We've got to go make that play against him and put them in a situation where they got to throw the ball. And hopefully we can hold up on the back end. And, again, they're the same guys that are playing DB that are outstanding defensive backs. You talk about 8 and 5 and 7, 17, 3. Those guys are great players on the back end. Well, they flip over and they play offense. They play receiver. So they're great players on the offensive side too. So, even if you find a way to stop Jackson because you have 7 guys in the box, well, now you have 4 left to cover their 4 guys, and that makes that difficult. So understanding, okay, what are we going to do scheme-wise to stop these guys? Because if you put too many guys in the box to stop Jackson, they're able to throw the ball. If you have too many guys in the secondary, it gives Jackson a crease, and if Jackson has a crease, man, he's a special kid. So it's going to be difficult. We've got to find a way to get some stops. Again, offensively, the best way to get some stops for our defense is to hold on the football. So hopefully we can maintain drives. The biggest thing is we can't have those negative plays that we talked about. The negative plays are the ones that are going to get you. So we've got to find a way to cut those negative plays. And even if it's 2nd and 10, we'll take 2nd and 10 over 2nd and 13 or 2nd and 15. Always being at or in front of the sticks, which is a difficult task because they're so attacking on defense, and they're going to dial up blitzes, and we got to make sure we cover those blitzes in order to not give up those negative plays. So it's definitely a great challenge for us. It's going to really show us where we're at.
In a tough atmosphere as well.
It's going to be, and listen, anytime you go there, it feels different. It's bigger. Their visitor side's bigger. It's going to be packed. Our place feels different because there's people all the way around. Their place feels different because the stadium is so big, and it's going to be crowded in that stadium. So there's definitely an atmosphere to it that our kids have got to control their emotions in. But in the end, man, we've talked about this game since January. We've told our kids every single day, man, we put highlights of Jackson Wilson in front of our kids when they lift. I mean, we have talked about this game for a long time, and our kids understand what's going to take to win the ball game. Now, can we live up to what it's supposed to take? We'll see. But they understand what it's supposed to take, and we've fought for this for a long time. And hopefully we can look up in the 4th quarter and we can say, hey, we're in a competitive game like we have been for 2 years. Well, let's find a way to get over the hump now. But it's going to take a 4-quarter, nasty, physical, tough game, and hopefully we've prepped them from January until now for that type of game.
So once again, Walker Valley will be on the road at Bradley High School this Friday, 7 o'clock kickoff. You can listen to Jacob and myself on 99.1 The Fiesta for the game coverage. We'll go on probably about an hour before the game, so you can listen to us then as well. Coach Akins, once again, thank you so much for everything. The Walker Valley Football Coaches Show, sponsored all season long by Wholesale Supply Group. Once again, Bradley Week, 7 o'clock kickoff at Bradley. See you guys there.